So I just came across this Heritage 3000 on eBay from the Rat Sound Shop. Do you think this could be one of the Chili Peppers consoles? I doubt they'd sell that. The names on the screen right now are absolute legends for supporting this channel either as a YouTube or Patreon member. You can join them for just $1 a month. I'll link the full walkthrough with this console below on Dave Rat's channel if you want to check it out. But the point of this video was to see what's going on with eBay these days in pro audio. The whole category has been relegated to the books, movies, and music section. Years ago, bidding on auctions with Auction Sniper was the way to get deals, but that's a huge waste of time now, in my opinion, unless you're looking for something super specific or rare. For browsing, I like to search for newly listed, buy it now, used gear that is located only in my country. This gives you the best chance of seeing good deals as soon as they come up, as well as also being shown listings that accept offers. I personally avoid buying anything new on eBay these days since it's mostly junk, and limiting your search to domestic listings should help eliminate some of the scams and wild shipping charges, though you do need to be careful to pay attention to that. Searching this way gives us 82,000 listings to check out, so let's see if there's anything cool. So the first thing up is this solid state logic SSL X-Rack, and some people are really into these things. I've never used one myself, but what it is, it's kind of like the API, the 500 series racks, but it's a little bit bigger. And there's a bit of controversy about these online in that they've never made a way to use these modules outside of this rack. And this rack comes with total recall automation, and obviously that makes it pretty expensive. And when people complain about it, SSL's response has been is they can't fit two of these units side by side into a single rack space, so they just haven't made a simpler rack for these yet. But by my calculations, if you look at this, there's an XR627. Those normally go for about $700 used. There are two XR418s. Those normally go for about $800 a piece. There are two 618s. Those normally go for about $800 a piece. And then there's three 625 modules, and those you can pick up used for about $600 a piece. And right now you could not find all of these separately on used websites that I've been able to see. So it would take you a little while to put this together. And if you were to do it just on my rough back of the envelope math, you're looking at about $5,700 worth of modules here. And the rack itself, this 8-bay rack, normally sells used for about $800 when you can find those. So this is a buy it now for $5,000. It's out of Las Vegas, $75 flat rate shipping to anywhere else in the US. But by my estimate, this is about $6,500 worth of value here. So there's some money in this, especially if you are looking for these. This looks like a pretty good deal. So let me know what you think about this, or if you've used the X-Rack series stuff before and what you think of it. I'm sure it is excellent. Now, this is an idea of what really annoys me about eBay these days. This is a pair of Denon CD cart players. So this would be the kind of CD player that would have been used, and probably still is in some radio stations, some broadcast stations. And I'd love to have a pair of these. And they look like they power on and probably work, but they're being listed as powered on untested. They're listed under the condition of parts or not working. So you've really got nothing to go off of. You're taking a wild blind chance other than they've shown them plugged in, which is better than most sellers do. But this seller, who is a reused electronics seller with 10,000 feedback, is trying to get $200 for these things. So $100 a piece, you know, I might even take a flyer on one of them at that price if shipping was included, if it was a single. But there's no way I'm going to buy a pair of these untested for $200, even though the shipping is free. That's nice. It's way too much to be able to take a risk on a pair of these. And if they do need any repair work, even putting your own time into it, you're really going to be into these for quite a bit. And I don't know if having like a donor one to fix the other one up would really be that relevant in something like this. So yeah, you see this stuff on eBay all the time where it's kind of clapped out gear or gear that's just obsolete because it's just not being used for anything anymore. And again, for these, you would need some other parts. You need some cartridges at least to get them to work. But people list these things like they're brand new in the box and there's a market for them. And I think there would be a much bigger market for, you know, messing around and fixing stuff up and, you know, buying and trading used gear if people weren't trying to get rich off of everything they're selling. You know, this is just a premium price for something that not a lot of people are looking for. And there's a million questions, and chances are they could just be paperweights. $200, like there's no fun in that. Nobody's going to buy that or bid on it. You can make them an offer and they'll probably get offended, but who knows? With these kind of big sellers, you could make them an offer for anything over 50% sometimes. And they'll usually, a lot of times anyway, not usually, but a lot of times they will just take it. They'll definitely have auto refusal on for anything under 50 in my experience. So let's see what's next. Oh, yeah, this guy, next guy up. This is Omaha, Nebraska. If anybody's in Omaha, Nebraska and you recognize this, serious optimism here. So they've got 3 mismatched cases here. There's one from Just In Case, a company called Just In Case. Let's see if I can see the badge on that. Maybe some folks will recognize that. Yeah, custom designed and quality built in Omaha, Nebraska. So that's a Just In Case trunk. Then we get a Bigfoot Cases and Crafts rack, and that's a company out of St. Petersburg, Florida, using some stick-on foil labels there for their logo. So you know that's quality. And then you got a workbox here, and this one's made by Mitchell Custom Case out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Even though these look like a set, they're not. They're 3 completely different cases from 3 completely different manufacturers of, you know, varying repute. Who knows who they are? Maybe you can let me know in the comments if you've ever heard of Just In Case, Mitchell Custom Cases, or Bigfoot. But $2,600, even if you're in Nebraska and you're picking them up, what is $2,600 here? Pre-owned since like the 80s probably. And like, I just don't know what to make of this. This seller has the workbox alone listed in its own listing, which I don't even know if you're allowed to do that on eBay. If you can list something twice like that in a group and then on its own, because it's clear looking at the listings, this person only has one of them, but they're asking $1,200 for that on its own. Like, this is insanity. Even if you were paying $500 a piece for these clapped out old cases, you're only up to $1,500. Like, what's $2,600 here? This is a absolute joke. It's not a shock mount case. I think the rack rails have been cut off halfway down here. See, halfway down this case, there's no rack rails that go to the bottom. So you're only getting half of that for your money. This person's a lunatic. They got some lift out trays in this Just In Case cable trunk. So cool. Just in case. And you know, these cases look quality from what I can see. There's a lot of rivets sticking out. You know, those look kind of dodgy up there, but yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst, not the best. I've seen worse cases for sure. I've never seen worse cases for this much money though. That's insane. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. No equipment, cabling, or otherwise shown in pictures included. Listing for rack and cases as described. I just think that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now here's a good deal. Radial Engineering JD7 injector for $1,000. Buy it now, and you could place a bid, maybe get it a little cheaper. But these go for like $1,350, $1,400. Yeah, normally. It's the kind of thing that's just going to last you probably a lifetime, and you probably won't ever notice that you didn't buy it new. Now that's not a guarantee. Obviously things, you know, it's nice to have a warranty on stuff, but I'm not sure what Radial warranty. It's a transferable 3-year limited warranty on all their stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't care about the warranty. If you needed one of these, I would absolutely buy one used. You know, I think that's a good deal if you need one. Next up. Oh, this was interesting. This was an interesting one. So this is the Mackie 1604 VLZ3. and it's listed for parts are not working. Now, you know, you can say what you want about Mackie consoles currently or in the past or whatever, but the VLZ3 version I think was a little bit better than the VLZ4. They just feel really cheap nowadays, and you know, I would prefer to have a slightly older one than the newer one. And either way, the 1604 in the newer version, this is about $1,000 console if you're to buy the new 1604 VLZ4. So a used one of these in good condition should be a decent couple of dollars. And the issue with this one, it's being sold for parts are not working. It looks like it powers up. It looks like it's in okay condition. Doesn't look like it's been damaged or anything too bad. There's a couple of nicks and scuffs and all that. But the issue that they're saying is the problem is that it shows some signal on the main LEDs when it shouldn't. So it's metering -20 or so. So that's significant. And they've got everything turned down. Now they have the aux sends are cranked all the way up there, and you know, who knows what way they've got the, you know, what they've got assigned to the main mix or what's going on in that regard. But if you're handy with electronics and you feel like taking a chance on something, this is a fair price. You know, buy it now for $135 plus. Now it is another $100 shipping. But if you're in California and you like fixing stuff up anywhere near Fullerton, this is a real good deal. And honestly, for under $250, I'm tempted to take a chance on it and just to see what's wrong with it, just to see if we can fix it. So I might bookmark this and pick this one up for a future video. I don't really love taking these apart. I've done it before, and it just takes an absolute like day and a half if you have to take all the boards out for some reason. Now you shouldn't have to. You should be able to get into these from the back. But if for some reason you have to take everything out of the case, there's like a million, you know, there's a nut on every single one of these potentiometers. So it's just kind of a pain to do. So it's not something I'm like dying to do. There's like a million things to unscrew on this, depending on what's wrong with it or where you need to get into it to have a look at. But it could be a cool project. So you can get in from back here and you should be able to see most of it. Now let's see, there's a screw missing. So somebody's been inside, a couple of screws missing. I've known musicians to just carry these around loose in their, you know, back of their truck for years without problems. But who knows what's wrong with this one? I just thought that would be an interesting, fun one for somebody who was up for the challenge. So this has to be the deal of the day, especially, again, if you're in California. These are California deals, or eBay's really popular in California. I don't know. But if you're in San Jose, California, this starting bid, $500. Buy it now for only $750. Now this is the ClearSonic ISO Pack J vocal booth. It looks smaller in this picture than what it is, but like look at the size of the, I think that's a Prius next to it, and then the climbing gym. That's a, you know, epic climbing gym there in the garage. But on their website, this pack here, the ISO Pack J, goes for $2,800. Now they do ship that for you, so you get free shipping on that if you buy one new. But this is pickup only in California. But if you are interested in a ClearSonic ISO booth, goodness, that's a saving, like $2,000 off. Like that's a crazy deal. So if you need a vocal booth or an, you know, ClearSonic booth like this is one of the ones that has the foam, you know, inside as well. And then the roof on top, it's denser than just foam. It's like their panels that they make. This is quite an extensive kit here. So if you are in California, that's a heck of a deal. Now, back in the 90s, ClearSonic drum shields were like all the thing with wedding bands, and we carried these things. When you'd carry them, no matter what you would do, you'd put the inserts between them and you'd fold them up and put them into their bag. And, you know, they came in a gig bag. It was like a soft padded bag, which was ridiculous, but they weighed so much that there was no way you could put it into any sort of hard case unless you had like a box truck or bigger to, you know, wheel something into. And no matter what you did, no matter how carefully you treated them or, you know, how well you put the inserts between, After a few months, they would all get kind of a wear mark, right down the center of each panel because they would touch in transport. You'd have to, if you stood them up on end so they weren't all laying flat, but, you're trying to pack these things into the back of a van, in the middle of the night after a wedding gig. You do what you got to do and you get the hell out of there.